Hey, hi, hello. I want to welcome you all back to another weekly reading vlog. Once again, I'm going to be doing another week where all I read is horror. Hi, welcome to end of video, Amanda. After I took an unfortunate turn this week and weirdly enough, DNF'd almost every single book that I read. I got to the end and I realized that the two books that I was able to finish were both thrillers. We're gonna be changing the concept of this video. I am reading only thrillers in a week. First up, I am going to be reading The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. I'm actually 81% into it already. I literally started it less than 24 hours ago. I started it last night around 6 p.m. I think it was, and it's 5 p.m. tonight. The other books that I'm hoping to read this week are going to be My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. Don't know what it's about, but he also wrote The Good Indians, which I read last year and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be reading Never Saw Me Coming, which I'm pretty sure is about a high school student who is a psychopath. On top of that, I do have a physical horror book that I'd like to read. So last time we spoke, I had to read Dark and Shallow Lies, and then I had bought two other horror books for me to try out, and that was Small Favors and The Final Girl Support Group. Now, I have decided to save this one for next time when I do another horror reading vlog week. And this week I am going to attempt to read Small Favors. I did read a previous Aaron A. Craig book and not like it. So if I get so far into this one and I'm not enjoying myself, I will be putting it down and physically reading something that does not match this theme because I don't have another horror book because I am saving this one for something very specific. I'm hoping to start it tonight and maybe make a little dent into it. Also, the end pages are these like bee and honeycombs, and then the spine is beautiful. Beyond that, I forgot, I do have one more horror audiobook that I'm hoping to listen to, and that is Rebecca. It's the classic, it's the gothic classic. I know the general storyline of a lot of these books, but I'm gonna save what they're actually about to once I'm in them and I can tell you honestly what they are and not be making an estimation. I can do that with The Good Daughter right now. The Good Daughter is the book that I am starting first. As I said, I'm already 80% into it and I'm loving it. I don't think it's as good as Pretty Girls, to be honest, which is really funny because pretty much everyone online who is like a huge Karen Slaughter fan says that Pretty Girls is one of her worst books, and that one like changed my life. I will never be the same after reading that book, in a good way, I think. So we're following this family, these two daughters who are siblings. When they are, I don't remember how old the older one is, but 13 and a teenager. They're both teenagers. This awful incident happens where two men come into their home and drag them into the woods and attempt to kill them. And that's how the book opens, but then the main storyline is following. Oh, I can't tell you any of that. That's a spoiler. So we're following the storyline 20 years later, kind of seeing what has happened to the family, and another horrible incident happens in that small town. It brings the family back into chaos. There's a lot of twists and turns. It's really good, really enjoyable. It's really dark. There's some awful things that happen on page, a lot of things that brought me to tears. When I tell you I sobbed, I'm not joking. I sobbed. I think it might have been harder than I've ever sobbed in a book before. I don't totally know because it's been a little bit since I sobbed in some of the books that I've sobbed in, but when I was trying to think back on it, I've sobbed in less than 4 books. This will be the 4th one that I've cried that hard in. If you want a recommendation that'll make you cry because it's hard to read, then this is one. I'm gonna be trying to finish it up tonight. Like I said, it's only 5 p.m. I do need to run to the store really quickly, and then the rest of my evening is just going to be chilling around the house. So I don't see any issue with it because I have 3.5 hours left on ×2 speed. It's under 2 hours. I have finished The Good Daughter. It was fantastic. I really like how Karen Slaughter writes. She just has lots of twists and turns, lots of suspense, lots of horrific elements that happen to people, lots of really dark things that happen to people. Her women are strong and her men are evil, and she just does a really, really good job of kind of pointing out the darkest parts of humanity. So I rated the book a 4.5 out of 5 star. Didn't like it as much as Pretty Girls, but I really loved it, and I'm glad I read it, and I can't wait to pick up my next Karen Slaughter. Next up is Small Favors, like we talked about. I can see that there are these gray pages every once in a while. I'm gonna try to find one and see what it is. Oh, cool. So it's gonna be like a season change, if you can see that. Oh, okay. So there's important families of the gathering at the beginning. So I guess I'll have to read through that first. And then there's the rules. I'll definitely read those. And then there's Indian Summer. I quickly read the summary before I sat down. It seems like this book is going to focus a lot on misogyny. There's going to be some weird magical realism, hopefully some monsters. That'll be good. The reason why I didn't like her last book is because I really didn't find it horrific. It was like a horror fantasy retelling of the 12 Dancing Sisters. I feel like her characters were too flat. I feel like there was a lot of insta-love, and I felt like it was really predictable for me. There's hope that this book doesn't have any of those things. Okay, so I have read 2 chapters of Small Favors, which you might say is not enough to judge a book by, but I'm not feeling any part of this book. And after reading some reviews online, basically everyone who loved House of Salt and Sorrow loved this, and everyone who tolerated it tolerated this. And so as someone who pretty much hated that book, I was finding these same exact issues, except along with like all of the character issues I was finding, this book was boring. Just a lack of anything to draw me in. I didn't know it was going to be like puritanical American society. You get all of that kind of religiousness in it and a lack of anything for me to be drawn into, and I just couldn't, which is unfortunate, but at least I know now, and I'm okay with DNFing. Some more bad news. Well, yesterday I was planning on doing like a whole entire morning montage, get ready with me, and then I was gonna sit and read pretty much all of the day. That didn't work out. I ended up having a really bad day, some major panic attacks, and it got to the point where like I couldn't even read or focus on books, audio, but I went over to my family's in the evening and we had dinner together, and there was some big news revealed, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet with anyone, but it's all good and it's really exciting. So today, to make up for lost time, I have started and DNF'd so many books. I am currently reading 5 books. I DNF'd one late last night, not part of those 5, and I am about to DNF, let me see, 2 of those 5. The 2 that I started today that I'm thinking about DNFing, that I have DNF'd definitely one, I'm kind of considering the second one that are horror, is Rebecca, which is the one I'm still kind of on the fence about, and then My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. That one's really easy for me to explain why I'm DNFing it, and it all just boils down to I've never seen a slasher film in my life, and the entire book is basically like worshiping slasher films. He's making all of these references constantly, and I don't understand a single one of them. Like, not a single one of them, and I'm just kind of lost and confused, and there's not really any other part of the story. And the first chapter was like 50 to 60 minutes long, so I got like 10% through the book, and I wasn't enjoying myself, and I wasn't understanding anything enough where I thought that maybe I would like get into the story later on. That was a pretty easy DNF for me. With Rebecca, I have said it before, I'll say it again, I don't like gothic works. I always try them because they sound so good, but I don't like stories where you're gonna spend 3 paragraphs talking about dandelion weeds growing through your like ivy. I don't like the writing style. I don't like how the story is being told. I know the story of Rebecca, and I really wanted to read it because I wanted to actually experience the real original story of Rebecca. I don't think it's gonna be worth it. I am reading that one with my family's book club, and I don't think either of the other people in it are going to enjoy it. I'm gonna have to text them tonight and be like, yo, I started Rebecca, not feeling it. Hello, it's Tuesday night. I'm about to go to bed, but I realized I hadn't updated you guys today, and I had a major success. So I started the book Never Saw Me Coming, and I am 60% through with it already. I'm loving it, and I was actually very shocked when I went on Goodreads to put it into my like currently reading to see how low the rating and reviews are. Like, other people are not enjoying this book, and it's one of the few this week that I've actually continued. So we're following 3 POVs. They are all psychopaths at this college, and they are all part of this program in the psychology department. They basically get a full ride if the psychology department is allowed to study them while they're there for their 4 years. And there are these murders that are happening on campus, and it appears to be that they're murdering off people in this program. So we're following the 3 psychopaths. Our main girl is Chloe. She has this grudge with this boy named William who also goes to this school, and she has plans to kill him. She basically is stalking him and going to kill him. That's all in the summary. We're also following 2 other boys, one named Charles, who is very rich and is very suspicious of everyone. And then, oh, what's the other guy's name? Arlo? No, I'm watching The Great right now, and all I can think of is Orlo. I can't think of the last boy's name. But he basically believes that he is faking his diagnosis, and that at any moment people are going to figure out that he's not really a psychopath. I'm convinced he is actually one. So good, so interesting, because it's kind of these 3 psychopaths working together, but they all just want what's best for themselves and have no regard for anyone else or each other even, but they're all working together for one common goal, which is to basically not get murdered. At least for Chloe, she's also trying to murder someone. So I finished Never Saw Me Coming this morning, and I really enjoyed the book. I really, really liked it a lot. I ended up rating it a 4 out of 5 star though, because simply the ending didn't do it for me. Of course, there's this whole entire mystery element of like who done it, who's doing these murders, why are they doing these murders? And I felt that the conclusion to that mystery was really unsatisfying for me, and I didn't feel like it was motivated so much so by logic, and in fact I didn't believe the person who did it. I didn't necessarily want it to be anyone else either. To be fair, my thought was that it was actually part of the program, and that they were putting these psychopaths into like an extremely stressful situation to see if they could learn to rely on each other and to eventually like show empathy for each other. It's not what it was, because I was thinking about rating it a 5 star up until that reveal. Anyways, I don't have any more horror or thrillers on my TBR for this week. I have 2 more that I'm hoping will get checked out to me, but I don't think they're gonna be here in time because I think my library still says, actually they're both down to 2 weeks now, so they're not gonna be here in time. And that was it. I mean, really, I should say that reading 2 books that I rated 4-star or higher this week was a success. Like, reading 2 books in a week is phenomenal, especially with The Good Daughter being as long as it was. But I, of course, feel like a failure because I wanted to bring you guys another like fantastical reading vlog where I read a lot of one genre that I don't normally read. But you know what? I know you guys don't care. You're excited just to see a video that I'm releasing. So I'm going to let this one be a win and we're gonna say goodbye now. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know down below if you have any horror books you would recommend to me because I always enjoy reading a good horror book. I will be doing this at least one more time. I have a really exciting one planned and you already know one of the books, which is the Final Girl Support Group. And I think I'll be doing it sometime in December. Once again, thank you for watching. I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.